Good morning, students. In today's video, we will deal with the topic active and passive voice. Now you can see here we have two sentences. The first sentence says, Hari cleans the house. And the second sentence, the house is cleaned by Hari. Now if you see, both the sentences express the same meaning. But in sentence 1, the form of the verb shows that the person denoted by the subject does something. Here you can see Hari, that is the person denoted by the subject, does something. And the verb cleans, so is said to be in active voice. So you can see here the subject is Hari, the verb is cleans, and here the object is the house. In sentence 2, if you see, the form of the verb shows that something is done to the thing denoted by the subject. So here the verb cleaned is said to be in passive voice. So a verb is in active voice when its form shows that the person or thing denoted by the subject does something. Or in other words, you can say is the doer of the action. So in sentence 1, who is the doer of the action? Hari. Hari does the action. Hari cleans the house. So, the voice is active in the first sentence. But a verb is in passive voice when its form shows that something is done to the person or thing denoted by the subject. That is, it receives some action. So, here the house is receiving the action. The house is cleaned by Hari. Remember, students, we do not change the doer of the action. The doer of the action remains the same. In the first sentence also the action is done by Hari. Even in the second sentence, if we see, the action is done by Hari. Now we will learn to convert sentences from active voice to passive voice with the help of few rules and examples. So here we go. First is simple present tense. In case of simple present tense, what is the structure? See, active voice, the structure is subject plus V1 or V5 plus object. For example, I love my parents. Here I is the subject, love, that is the verb V1, and then you have the object my parents. Now when you are converting it into passive voice, the structure is the object comes first and object becomes the subject. Plus am, is or are, that is the helping verbs, plus V3 past participle, then you have by, plus the subject comes at the end, that is the subject becomes the object here. Now what will be the conversion? My parents, here my parents in the active voice, my parents is the object, so my parents will come and become the subject in case of passive voice. So my parents, because this is plural, will use the plural verb are V3 loved by the subject in the active voice I. When it is converted into passive voice, it becomes me. So my parents are loved by me. Clear? Now in case we have present continuous tense, what is the structure? Subject. In the active voice, the structure is subject plus am, is or are, that is the helping verb. Then you have verb plus ing, V1 plus ing plus object. For example, I am writing a letter. I here is a subject, then you have the helping verb am, then you have the main verb in continuous, that is writing, V1 plus ing, plus an object, that is a letter. Now in the passive voice, the object becomes a subject. So a letter will come first, then you have, because this is singular, we'll write is, then you have being, which is very important, being, then V3, that is past participle, written, write, wrote, written. So written by I becomes me in passive voice. So you can see here that in case of active voice, the subject and the object are different, but in passive voice, when we are converting active into passive, the subject becomes the object and the object becomes the subject. Now we have present perfect tense. What is the structure? Active voice subject plus has or have plus V3 plus object. The students have played the game. This is an active voice. The action is done by the students. Now in the passive voice, object plus has have plus been plus V3 plus by plus subject. That is, the object will come first, the object will become the subject. So the game has been played. V3, it's already given in V3, so played by. Now the subject will come and become the object in case of passive voice, that is the students at last. So the game has been played by the students. Clear? Now simple past tense. The active voice, what is the structure? Subject plus V2 plus object. For example, he wrote a letter. Now if you see here, when it is converted into passive voice, the object comes first and becomes the subject. Then we have was or were plus V3 plus by plus subject. So a letter becomes a subject. A letter, because this is singular, so was. V3 wrote, then written. Write, wrote, written. Written by, he becomes him. The subject he in passive voice becomes him. Clear? So now a letter was written by him is in the passive voice. Now in case of past continuous tense, what is the active voice structure? Subject plus was were plus V1 plus ing plus object. For example, Ram was playing cricket. Now when we are converting it into passive voice, what will be the structure? The object will come first and will become the subject. Then we have was or were plus being plus V3 plus by plus subject. Just same as that of present continuous tense, but only difference is here in case of is, am, is, are. Here we have was, were. The helping verb has changed over here. Right? What is the sentence in passive voice? Cricket was being played by Ram. Again, the doer of the action remains the same, be it an active voice or passive voice. Clear? Okay. Now we will move on to past perfect tense. So let's see what is the structure in past perfect tense. The active voice, the structure is subject plus had plus V3 plus object. For example, he had written a letter. Now, if we convert it into passive voice, what will be the structure? The object will come first and will become the subject. Had, been, then V3, then you have by, and then the subject. That is, the subject will come at the end and will become the object in passive voice. So, a letter had been written by him. Clear? So, it is very easy if you remember the structure, the formation of the sentence, and it will be very easy for you to convert active voice into passive voice. Now, we have simple future. The structure of active voice will be subject plus shall or will. Then you have V1 and then the object. For example, I will finish the work today. Now, you can see here I is a subject and the object is what? You will finish what? The work. So, the work is the object here. So, the object will come first and will become the subject in passive voice. Then we'll have shall or will plus be plus V3. Then you have by and then the doer of the action. That is the subject at last. So, here in case of passive voice, what will be the sentence? The work will become the subject here. Will be finished, V3, finished, by, I becomes me, today. So, the work will be finished by me today is in passive voice. I hope it is clear to you all. That's all for today. Thank you.